All right, so today I am joined by queer country music artist and viral TikTok star Adam Mack. How are you doing today?
Hi, so good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for joining me. Now, Adam, can you begin by telling us more about your new single, Dust Off Your Boots, which released on June 14th, correct?
Yes.
Yes, tell us
Um,
more about that.
yeah. So I wrote it with two friends of mine, Jason Mader and Sonia Lee. Sonia Lee is a number one hit songwriter for the likes of like Zach Brown Band, and Jason Mader is an incredible producer. And we were out in LA last, I think July, because we had a show out there and met up with Jason. It was my first time writing with him. And it was just magic. Like the song just kind of like fell out in under an hour, and we had recorded it. And next thing I know, we're like going to the studio here in Nashville. And really, I think it was just like, I don't know, we wanted to write something that felt like the intersection of like funk music, disco, and country music.
Okay.
And that's and we wanted it to have like a little like in our hopes and dreams when we wrote it and listened back, we were like, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
this could totally have like a line dance. We pictured this line dance moment in the bridge when we were writing it. And so it's like I guess the manifestation paid off because next thing we know, now we're here and the song on TikTok is inspiring all of these line dances, and it is just crazy. So cool.
Awesome. Yes, definitely. So what's really the overall story behind this track?
It's just like for me, this song is it's feel good. It's also inherently queer. It's Southern queer party music.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know. You know what I mean? It's like strutting in the sticks. Like that is it's taken all of the things that I grew up in a small town in Kentucky. So all of those like backwoods, back road, like storylines are in me, but now I'm like so transformed into this like just like fully immersed, queer, joyous. It's I
Mhm.
don't know. It's been the coolest thing for me to like marry the my roots with who I am as a queer man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and that for me is what the song does. It's like it takes all of these things and then just makes them gay.
Okay, okay. So you never really played into your queer identity with your previous works?
Well, last album I did.
Okay,
Yep. Last album, Disco Cowboy, I definitely did, but that was the first time that I
okay.
really ever had. Before that, because I've been in Nashville for 12 years. And before that album, I really was trying to play the game. I was
Okay.
like, there wasn't even before that album, like the last thing I put out was like the beginning of 2019. There still wasn't a super openly queer country person even then, like just
Yeah.
5 years ago. You know what I mean? Which just speaks to like seeing someone represented, seeing yourself represented is truly the thing that like gives people myself
Mhm.
inspiration to be like,
Sure.
no, screw that. I'm gonna just do what feels right for me.
Mhm.
And for that album, that's where it all started. I finally just like threw in the like, I'm not playing into this like, I'm not gonna say pronouns just so this song can get pitched somewhere. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna write an album that's for me and from my experience. And honestly, that is when my career shifted and I started finding the people who
Mhm.
connected with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because the country music genre has historically been pretty conservative. So you're definitely
Sure.
seeing a change within it?
Yes, it's beautiful. There are so many openly queer country artists on the rise. I kind of just feel like we're all just like riding the tide, like rising with the tide, I guess is how you say
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Because there's just like a whole beautiful group of us that are making changes in country music and just also proving that there's an audience that wants to hear and wants to see that representation.
For sure. So what particularly drew you to country music? And have you always had a passion and desire to pursue this genre?
Always, yeah. I mean, I've been singing since I can remember. I know that's what everyone says, but that's the truth. I grew up singing in church, which is where I gained a lot of my religious trauma, and but it's also where I gained a lot of the soul that is in me.
Mhm.
And so yeah, and also country music. Like it was always Shania Twain and Brooks and Dunn and Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton. So like it was always in me. I'm from a small town. Those were our stories. Not exactly my story, but I'm writing my story for future me's. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, definitely.
From that Southern queer experience. But yeah, always country music. But then my mom also really loved like Michael Jackson and Motown music. So I just there's a little bit of that in there too, which
Mhm.
is kind of where the funk comes from that I've kind of
Okay.
in with the country.
Okay, awesome. And Dust Off Your Boots also has an accompanying music video, right?
Yes, yes, it came out the day of the song. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So what can people expect for those who have not yet watched?
Oh, it's fully camp, pun intended. And
Camp
we
Boogie, right?
Camp Boogie. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was just letting everybody know that they can get their Camp Boogie merch now. But no, I wanted to build this world. I was thinking like, okay, what were things from like growing up that felt like strutting in the sticks? Like,
Mhm.
okay, everybody loved summer camp. Like summer camp is universal.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do like a play on just like a campy camp. That is Camp Boogie. It is overtly queer, but it's also campy and fun and stupid and silly. And that was what I wanted it to be. It's exactly what I wanted it to be.
Good, good. Now, overall, with all your music, everything you have done, what do you ultimately hope audiences take away from it?
I hope that audiences feel seen. I hope that they feel like my story. I know that they feel like my story is their story. I've had so many people come up to me for songs that I've written. Like the one that got away in particular is a song about like leaving my small town because I just like couldn't be who I was meant to be there. That song has been exactly what I would hope that my music does, and it's like make people feel less alone, make people feel more seen. And I think that's what we're all trying to do.
Mhm.
And just have, and also then just dance and have a good time on this
Yes.
side.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Now, this small town you keep speaking of, that's Russellville, Kentucky.
Russellville, Kentucky. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Because you made headlines last fall when Maren Morris invited you to open for her sold out show in Chicago because you felt you had to cancel your own festival in Russellville. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, kind of.
Yeah. What's the story with that? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it was my hometown, and it was our annual tobacco festival, if you can believe it.
Oh, I believe it.
Um, and uh, and so yeah, I mean, I grew up going to it. It's been a token thing in our town for our my whole life, and beyond. And so they had asked me to headline the festival, like come back home, do my first like hometown show, post like putting out my album and all of that. So I'd kind of like had a big year already, and they wanted me to come home and headline the festival, which I was so stoked to do.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was not to like hash up old tea, but there was a pastor in town that was gathering like-minded folks to come out and like picket and protest during my show.
Okay.
And it was also in the midst of like, or coming off the heels of like all the drag bands and stuff, and just like all of the heightened craziness that we were already kind of living in. So I just like didn't feel comfortable bringing my band and team into a situation that could get dicey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we pulled out of the festival, and it was really hard, and it was really a disappointment for me to have to do. But like honestly, in hindsight, one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So like shout out to the homophobes because honestly it led me to opening for Marin. It led me in a feature in Billboard and all of these other outlets that had no idea who I was. And then all of a sudden I was kind of like thrust into this world.
Mhm.
So yeah, honestly, couldn't be happier about it.
Exactly, yeah, because you also you performed at GLAAD's Love and Acceptance show, Nashville
Mhm.
CMA Fest, and you're playing at Nashville
Yeah.
Pride.
Yes.
So, what are you taking away from these experiences?
I'm trying to stay grounded and grateful always,
Mhm.
and also just like living in the moment. I know that everything's happening fast, and it's very easy for me to just get kind of caught up in the go and the do of it all, and not like kind of like take a breath, take a moment, and just be like live in it, and be like, wow, 10 years ago, I would have never believed that this was something that I would be doing right now. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Definitely. And when is Nashville Pride? Is it this upcoming?
This Saturday, yeah, this Saturday.
Okay, cool, cool. So I'm sure you'll be performing Dust Off Your Boots. What else can we expect?
I am doing new songs that are going to be on the next album, which we are currently recording and writing.
Very
So I'm going to do some new stuff to kind of tease what's to come, and then I'm going to play everyone's favorites from the album, and of course, Dust Off Your Boots.
Awesome. What does Pride personally mean to you?
I think for me, Pride is a time for us to truly celebrate how far we've come, how far we have to go, and really have our moment each year to like be seen and be celebrated
Definitely, for
for
sure.
me.
Yeah, that's great. Love it. Adam, what more do you hope to accomplish with your career and platform?
Oh my gosh, we want a global domination.
Yes, yes.
That's it. That's it. We want to be global. I would love to just get bigger and play more shows and visit more people and more places, and that's really the joy for me.
Okay, perfect. And how can one stay up to date with you?
Adam Mac Music on all the things, Spotify and Apple Music and all the streamings. That's where I'm acting a fool.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
No, really just be on the lookout for new music. We're working on stuff to come out post Dust Off Your Boots. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay, there you go.